The Piscifun Aloe S, guys. S as in Sam. I believe we might have found a reel to replace the Nautix for lure casting off the beach. It is hard to beat this Piscifun Nautix for many reasons. Price point, durability, drag capacity, the way it holds up with salt water. This is truly the only reel that I run on all my setups, and it has been for about 2 years. I was a very big pin guy. When we first started running trips, I was using pin battles. When I needed setups with more drag, I would buy the slammers. Over time, I was finding my slammers were breaking down before my battles. I was having roller bearing issues with them. I mean, every single one of them. All my slammers, same problem, roller bearing. And you'll hear that on the videos. You'll hear it squeaking. It's not as smooth. And back then, I was paying, I think, $280, $300 for a slammer. And that was years ago. And paying about $150 for those battles. So you would think that the battles would be breaking down first, but nope, the expensive reel. So then I got introduced to Piscifun Nautix through Tony Fagioni. Tony from Fish Gum was the first guy really using these. And I know Tony does a lot of surf fishing, so it piqued my interest. We worked as a company, Panhandle Salt worked with Piscifun for an entire year, from 2024 to 2025. And that was a paid sponsorship. We promoted their products and we got paid to do that. In 2025, I was doing like a cleansing. I was getting rid of all of my sponsorships, if you want to call them that, just because it was causing issues with like products in the shop, selling certain people's stuff, not selling other people's. Maybe I was working with a sponsor and I was also carrying their competitor in the shop. So of course that caused friction. Plus I knew like that I was being biased. If a company is paying you or giving you product to promote it, you're gonna promote it and it's gonna be the best. So I started feeling dirty and I got rid of all the sponsorships. So currently we work with no one. But full transparency, Piscifun did send us these 3 reels at no cost for the purpose of testing them in saltwater conditions. So jumping back to the Nautix, we ended that contract with Piscifun, but we still sell and use these to this day at the shop running guides. It is the #1 reel that I recommend for surf fishing. Even though they're not paying us anymore, even though we're not getting free Nautix reels anymore, I still promote and buy this reel. You cannot beat it for what we're doing set rig fishing along the Gulf Coast for the price point and durability. There's just not another reel out there that meets those standards for me. I don't want to pay $300 for a reel that I'm sitting in a sand spike, guys. It's ridiculous. All models, the 3000 to the 6000, they're all under $150. The 3000 here at the shop, I believe, is like 98 bucks. The 4000's $110, and the 5000's I think is $125. I also do half price on the braid when you buy the reel. So you're purchasing a great saltwater surf fishing reel for well under 200 bucks braided. I trust these so much we rent them out. We have clients that come in, they rent surf fishing gear, they take our stuff for a few days, they bring it back. I can tell it's been abused. There's sand packed in it, hasn't been rinsed down. It might have took a dunk or two. I break them down, I clean them out, I might put a little oil on them, put them back together, and they keep going, guys. Plus, they sit outside all day, and we're right here on the beach, so all the salt there is getting on them all day long. The sun's beating down on them. I'm not rinsing them down before I put them up at night. So they've been sitting out here in front of the shop for 2 years in the elements, and they're still going. So with all that good, there's got to be a bad, right? The one thing about the Nautix that I've never been crazy about is the weight. It's built strong. It's built to last. So it's got some weight to it. And that weight is what keeps this reel going trip after trip, year after year. So it's a good trade-off. But I've always been on the lookout for like a Nautix style reel and a lighter weight for casting lures off the beach. Set rig fishing, the weight's not a big deal. We throw it once, we set it in the spike, and that's it. And then we're targeting what, a 2-pound fish, pompano? So fighting that fish in with a little bit heavier reel is not a big deal. But it is lure casting. Throwing a lure over and over and over again with a heavier reel will tire you out. Your arms are gonna start hurting. It's just not as fun. And then a lot of times we're 50 cast in before we even hook up. And now you gotta fight that fish in with tired arms. So what I've been doing is I've been using the 3000 series Nautix. It's got 26 pounds of drag. you're never going to use that much drag. So if you do happen to hook into something bigger, you're going to be able to stop that fish, slow it down. And the reason I use that 3000 is because it's the lightest model of the Nautix lineup. There's your 3000 right there. That's what I'm using on all my lure casting setups and even my inshore rods. It's just a great reel. It's $100. Would I like a smaller reel on my inshore rods, like a 2500? Yes. But this is what the Nautix offers, so I just go with it. 3000 series Piscifun Nautix. Check this out, guys. And a 5000 series Alloy S. They are about the same size, and you have a lot more line capacity on this 5000. It's lighter than the 3000, and it has more drag capacity. I think this guy's got about 30 pounds. The 3000 Nautix is at 26. Let's weigh them. I'm going to put them on the scale just to see which one's lighter. You know, 3000 up there. 3000 is about 11 ounces. 5000 Alloy S, 9.5. No brainer. So that Alloy S has been out for a minute, so you might be asking, like, what's the holdup? Why aren't you using these reels already? Salt water. They're marketed as an inshore saltwater reel, but they're not a truly sealed saltwater reel like the Nautix. Basically, it can handle some splash, some spray. As long as you get that guy rinsed down after a trip, it should be fine. The Nautix you can dunk, so you can actually drop that in the Gulf, get it back out, maybe take the spool off, hit some fresh water inside, pop it back together, and it's ready to go with no question. Could you dunk that Alloy S without it freezing up? I don't know. So because of that I don't know, I haven't brought it into the shop. I haven't used it myself. I haven't advertised it. I don't want to push something onto you guys that's not going to hold up. And when I think dunk, like you're dunking your reel, my mind goes directly to when our sand spikes get pulled over. And it happens. I don't care how long you have been surf fishing, it's going to eventually happen again. You get something big on there, you forget to loosen your drag, the wash starts washing out the sand underneath your sand spike, you don't notice it, and then a whiting can pull that sand spike over, and your rod gets dragged into the water, your reel goes under. It happens. But I got to thinking, I'm looking for a lure casting reel, right? Not necessarily a set rig fishing reel. I mean, unless I'm wading out into the Gulf, throwing lures, and that guy happens to go underwater, that's about the only time I'm even going to be close to the water. So using this Alloy S for lure casting is a real possibility. Now, salt is tricky. It doesn't even have to be dunked or sprayed. Salt air can start corroding your reel, and really corroding everything. I use Corrosion X spray to even hit like my padlocks where the keys go in, all around the shop here, because just those locks sitting outside will start corroding from the salt air. I make sure to hit the underbelly of my truck really well at least once a month. Same thing, my truck sits down here on the beach all day long. That salt air is going to start getting to it. So if we were using these for lure casting, they weren't getting sprayed or splashed or anything like that. We keep these guys rinsed down like we do all our gear after each trip. I believe we have found a solution for a lighter option in our price point that's going to hold up over time. Let's go over the specs. So just a quick Google search comparison. Saltwater focus. The Alloy S has 4 stars. The Nautix has 5. Both have full aluminum bodies. The Alloy S does market like metal series, I think I saw somewhere. Yep, metal series right there. Let's see what that's about. Okay, so another quick Google search. What it's saying is the metal series is more of a marketing term, and it's letting potential customers know like it's not using graphite or composite materials inside the reel with gears and things like that. So the metal series thing, I believe, is more just for marketing. The Nautix has a carbon rotor, and on the rotor for the Alloy S, it says lightweight. So I'm really not sure how to compare that. Nautix says carbon, Alloy S says lightweight. Sealing, very important. The Alloy S is corrosion resistant, and the Nautix is IPXS water resistant. What does that mean? Let's find out. Google says this is actually one of the strongest selling points of that Nautix. IP, ingress protection. The X means the reel was not tested or rated for dust. It doesn't mean it has no dust protection. I don't know. I guess that's how they Those initials are how they test these reels. The 5 is protected against low pressure water jets from any direction. Okay, so I guess they sprayed that reel in all kind of different directions with salt water, and the reel didn't show any damage afterwards. Again, this is with the Nautix, guys, not the new one. So in surf terms, I guess that's translating to it's okay against salt water blowing on it all day, rain, water splashing on the reel, and it's perfectly safe to wash your reel down with fresh water. What it doesn't mean is it's waterproof, can be submerged for long periods of time without some sort of damage happening. And all this is without taking the next step, which is to wash that guy off. Now, if somebody loses a rod with a Nautix on it in the surf, let's say you find that rod weeks, months later, it's probably gonna be toast. But if a sand spike pulls over, the rod goes under. It's happened to us hundreds of times over the years. You get that reel out, I usually get fresh water on it almost instantly, a bottle of water that I'm drinking or whatever. I clip the line, I pop the spool off, and I clean all this out inside too with the fresh water. And just doing those simple steps, guys, my reels, my Nautixes are still going strong. All right, let's get back to the specs here. Got off track for a minute. Bearings, the Alloy S, shielded stainless. The Nautix 8+1 shielded stainless. So let's see, how many bearings does this guy have? 8+1. 8+1 on the Alloy, and 8+1 on the Nautix. Same amount of bearings, same shielded stainless bearings. And then the drag, I'm not gonna get too big into the drag because my personal opinion are these reels are grossly over drag, and I believe by having like high drag reels, it's a marketing scheme. Like that 5,000 Nautix, I think is 33 pounds of drag, guys. That's a lot of drag. Like, you will feel the difference. Don't get me wrong. I think those 4,000 battles had maybe 12 pounds of drag. Then I started fishing the 4,000 Piscifun Nautix, which have 26 pounds of drag. I can slow down a fish a lot quicker. I have more confidence in tightening that drag down, so I can get that fish under control a lot quicker than I can with that 12-pound drag. Maybe it's just in my head, but I feel that's the case. So really, guys, anything over 15 pounds of drag, you're good. For what we're doing, we're not out there targeting big GTs, right? Blues, Spanish, your bigger jacks, your bigger reds, pompano. These are relatively smaller fish in the grand scheme of things. But just for reference, this 5,000 has 33 pounds of drag in it. Let's see what the little 2,500 has. The little 2,500 here, 26 pounds of drag. You got enough drag. Overall weight, the Alloy S wins. Best use. Oh, this is a good one. The Alloy S says lure casting. The Nautix says surf and all around salt water. And that goes back to everything that we've said before. You're not gonna have this near water, guys. Throwing out the beach, reeling your plugs, reeling your metals, throw again. Nautix, yep, you might get some splash. You're casting out and sitting in a sand spike and just leaving it there. So overall, which reel is better for salt water? Nautix all day long. But for the lure casting application, this is gonna take the cake, guys. I mean, the 5,000 series weighs less than the 3,000 Nautix. And you got more line. Let those guys run. I am curious. I want to put this 5,000 on a Assassin Affinity. That's like my super lightweight rod that I carry here at the shop. It's about a $300 rod, and it's worth every penny. It is a freaking feather. So putting this lightweight reel, 5,000, on that lightweight Affinity, that's going to be a great lure casting setup. I got a little boner. It's important to pick the proper tool for the proper application, guys. And I've always felt like I just have been getting by with that 3000 series Nautix for my lure casting. So what we're gonna do is, I'm not, as much as I want to, I am not gonna jump and make a big order and bring these into the shop until they get properly tested. Here's the little 2500 here. Oof, this is gonna go on the Supernovas, baby. Look at that little guy. That thing weighs nothing. How much does this guy weigh? 7.5 ounces. little 2500. We're going to get these on the beach and we're going to get them exposed. I'm going to splash them. I'm going to skip rinsing them off a few days. I'm going to give them some real world scenarios. Now, I could take these out there and be super careful with them. Make sure I rinse them down really thoroughly every time. But in reality, we're all not going to do that. They're going to get dropped in the sand. They're going to get rained on. They're not going to get rinsed. So I'm going to get them out there and I'm going to act like I'm a beach angler that's not super anal about his gear like I am. And we're going to see how they hold up. But honestly, guys, if you do take care of your gear that rinses everything down every trip, and you're looking for a lightweight lure casting reel for the beach, I'd go with the Alloy S. I'm not 100% convinced that I want to set rig fish with these yet. The Nautixes have never let me down. They're holding up fine. Again, I'm not casting over and over with them, so the weight really doesn't matter. But for throwing lures, this is it, y'all. And I'm pretty sure the price point is the same as the Nautix. I'm going to give them a couple weeks. We're going to fish them. We're going to see how they do. Today I'm going to go ahead and get them braided up, get them ready, get them paired with a rod, and we'll get them on the beach. The Alloy S, guys, by Piscifun. Guys, leave me some comments if you fished this reel, if you have any experience with this reel. Let me know how it's holding up. Everyone else watching this video probably wants to know too. And if you do want to jump the gun and go ahead and grab one of these, I'll leave a promo code in the description of this video to save you guys a little bit of money. Again, Piscifun did send us these at no cost, and when they did that, they also sent us a promo code. Thanks for hanging out with us for a minute, guys. I'll see y'all on the next one.